What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and instead of waiting till tomorrow to put out this Elemental Typhoon guide, I wanted to go ahead and do it today because I do realize that we only have a couple more days before this thing finishes. So I want to make sure y'all can get as many rubies as you can from this thing. And the thing to remember about the Immortal Typhon is that when you look at strategy info, you want to apply as much chill damage to this boss on your first team as possible. Provide as much chill as you can on the first team. So you're gonna make sure you want to have a chill damage character on your first team, and really that's the only team that really matters as far as chill. It only applies to the first team, but all that chill that you apply to the first team will carry over to the second team, which is going to enable you to do a lot more damage on your second team. Also, significantly increases defense type fighters' defense. So that means all your defensive fighters, which usually have a lot of attack buffs on them based on their defenses, are going to get massive buffs. So defensive characters are actually very important for this thing. It's also important to know that purple fighters have the advantage against this guy. Red has the disadvantage. So if you use a red character, they're going to take a lot more damage from this dude than other colors. And if you're using a purple, they're going to do a lot more damage to this guy instead of the other colors. Also, significantly decreases the boss defenses when attacking the boss after applying freeze. Now this applies to both teams. So if you have a chill damage character on your first team and a freezer on the first team, that's going to really help. A character that does freeze, I said freezer, but a character that does freeze. And if you have freeze on the second team, that's going to be very, very important. So any character that has just freeze, you want to put on the second team for sure. You want any character that has chill and freeze, or just chill, on the first team. So now that we have that all out of the way, let's go ahead and bring up the guide. And here you guys can see it right here. So I have the node, red has the disadvantage, and then you see Athena. These are in no real specific order. All these are highlighted in the color. So for example, Athena here, she'll buff up any of these characters. She has a 20% PG rate leadership, and she'll buff up any of these characters. So will Chris. He has the same leadership as her, the 20% PG rate with a 45% increase in purple fighters. And so does Athena here, which is actually pretty damn cool. And she is a defensive fighter. So she could be very useful. I mean, if you don't have these two characters as a leadership, it's very possible you might not have Athena. Maybe you could use this Athena and actually still get it done because she does have that PG rate leadership. And then all these characters have freeze. Now you might notice there's going to be two characters of the same in both of these columns. So I got chill on the first team, and then I got freeze on all teams. So remember, you want chill characters on your first team. You want to make sure you're playing chill, and on your first and your second team, it's good to have freeze. And also what the freeze does is, whenever you're fighting against the Immortal Typhon, the freeze actually almost kind of stun locks him. He'll just kind of sit there, right? He won't do anything, so he's not attacking, which actually is the reason why I put Athena up here, because every time he gets frozen, right, she's actually going to be a good leadership because she's still going to have apply the leadership, and she's still going to be able to run through her skills, because if he's not attacking, her skills are not going to get interrupted, which is actually really good for a gold border character like that doesn't have native super armor. That's very important for her. And the reason I have two characters, like I got Remy Ruru here, is because she has chill and freeze in her kit. The same with Kula, she has chill and freeze, right? The same with Hotaru, the same with, well, not the same, but Vanessa here just has chill. Well, actually Vanessa does have chill, but it's only whenever someone that has super armor or hyper armor attacks her. So you're not going to have that against Immortal Typhon, so she's not going to have her freeze. And then you have this version of Kula, Halloween Kula, who actually does have freeze. She doesn't have chill, but she does have freeze. So you'd actually want to put her on a second team. So you can put any one of these characters on the first team, any one of these first three characters on the first or second team. And then this Athena actually does have a dot damage similar to Merlin, where she has multiple different dot effects on, I believe it's her third skill if I remember correctly. But she applies different dots, so she can actually apply chill. So you could even use her, and she does have a 3 PG. And again, if the boss is frozen, it is possible to use them. Now, obviously, these are going to be your supports. They don't have chill, they don't have freeze, but they're purple characters, and every one of these characters has a 3 PG. Every one of them could be very useful against this boss, especially with a PG rate leadership like one of these three. So that's actually something that's pretty awesome. And these are really going to be some amazing teams right here. And then you got SS Iori. Now, there's no chill or freeze character that's an SS character yet. I'm sure there will be in the future, but right now there isn't. Now, red does have a disadvantage against this boss, but Mai is just, she's on another level, guys. she's on another level. You know, with her decreased damage received, the fact that she can reset her hyper armor, she just has a lot of survivability. And she's got double dot. Well, not double dot, but she has burn on 2 different skills. She applies a lot of burn. She applies a lot of damage. She's just a monstrous character. She's really the exception to the rule when it comes to red characters. Maisie is insane. And then we got Rio here. And, you know, again, you know, with a boss like Immortal Typhon that actually does kind of get stun locked whenever he gets frozen, this does help characters that have weak survivability be able to stay alive. So a character like Rio, who does have a PG rate leadership, and Shizuru, who have a PG rate leadership, they can actually stay alive. But Shizuru is actually a defensive type, so she actually gets a pretty big buff from fighting this guy. But you could team up Merlin. You got Kula here, who's actually does have chill, damage, and freeze. So you could put her on the first or the second team. You got Mature, who does have chill and freeze. So again, she could be put on the first or second team. I'm not saying that, you know, these are going to be the best characters. They're just options to throw out there. Goro is going to be absolutely insane for this. He might not have the type advantage, but he doesn't have a disadvantage. He will be monstrous because he actually has freeze on his skill. It's not a core effect, it's actually on his skill, which is massive. Really the same as Hotaru and other characters on this list. It's not a chance to get, you will have it. And that is powerful, my friends. So you can put Goro on the second team with a blue leadership like one of these two, and then have a support character like one of these guys, or a different blue character if you're willing to use them. There are other ones, but I really think these are going to be your best options. I mean, you could put Mukai in there, but you're going to find Mukai, he don't do that well. He really gets left behind. He really needs a buff, something's fierce. But then we got the boss syndrome characters, or BS characters. Well, not BS characters, but boss fighter leadership. And there are no characters that have chill or freeze as far as boss fighters, although I'm sure we'll get one in the future, maybe with a new BS character. But all these characters are BS fighters, so you could actually put them on the second team, right? You don't need freeze for the second team. It just makes your life a lot easier because, again, Immortal Typhon will kind of get stun locked, right? If you're not freezing him, he'll never get stun locked. But you could still do insane damage. If you apply a bunch of chill on the first team and then bring in the second team, like these powerhouses, you're going to frickin' fly through it. I promise you, you will destroy him. And then you got Geese here with the attack type leadership, PG rate leadership for attack fighters. And again, you know, you could put him on the first team or the second team, right? Because he can buff up Kula. That's pretty cool, man. There's actually a character that does get buffed up by that PG rate leadership and the extra 45% increased attack from Geese. So you could put Kula on the first team, or Mary here, she does apply chill damage, or Vanessa. I mean, any one of these characters could be on the first team and then have one of the attack fighters, you know, preferably a very strong attack fighter, Genitz, Rugal, characters like that, Original Zero, Maisie, SS Kyo. I mean, all those characters would be absolutely insane with this guy. Then you have Jeanette, and this is actually pretty cool. Jeanette actually has the better of all worlds. She's got the leadership with the 20% increased PG rate for the green fighters, and she has freeze and chill in her kit. On her skill, she can do a freeze every time she does her third skill. She's massive. So if you use her and you use Mary here that also has chill, you're going to get chill from both of these characters, right? You're going to apply tons and tons of chill damage, and then you can actually get buffed up by one of these characters. And these are some damn strong characters. I mean, there's 3 of them right here that have 30% PG rate in their core. They all have pretty nice 3PGs, especially BS Geese. Even Meliodas here is going to put in quite a bit of work. And again, because you'll be applying freeze from Jeanette, the boss is going to get stunlocked. And Meliodas, even though he has decreased damage received, he's going to have more survivability. And he has a great 3PG, so that could be a really great team too. Any one of these characters with Jeanette's leadership. Then you got Elizabeth here, who has the 20% PG rate leadership for defensive fighters. And this is actually very interesting because, again, the defensive fighters get buffed up big time from Immortal Typhon. So all these characters are defensive fighters. She only gives the PG rate leadership to defensive fighters. So if you're using any of these characters, I mean, you got your chill and freeze right here. I know a lot of people miss Rimururu. I don't have her too. But you could put Hotaruru on the team, right? Or Hotaru, right? And she has chill or freeze. And then you could put Nameless, who's freaking insane, right? He's amazing for this thing. Or Athena. I mean, I know Athena's got the leadership. Maybe you'd want to put her on a separate team, but it's just an option to throw out there. You got Meliodas here, who's absolutely insane. There's actually Rudy from the Seven Knights. He'd actually be really good too. I actually forgot to put him on here. I might add him on after the video. But these are some great characters, and Nameless is always in the game. Hotaru is always in the game, and so is Elizabeth. So this would be a really good team as well. And Hotaru is a purple. Nameless is a purple. So you got the type advantage also with that team. Now, key here, there is one yellow character that has chill damage, but it's Silent Night Kazumi. And you see what I got right here. Silent Night Kazumi is bad. Guys, listen, even with the chill being applied, she's going to die, guys. She just isn't that good for this thing. Let me know in the comments if you've had any other kind of luck, but she just isn't very good for this. But you could put this team on the second team. You could have King on the second team. Then you could have, I think, these two guys right here, or even Seven Knights Rudy. You could put him on the team as well, and you're going to have an insane team. You got defensive fighter here, then the Seven Knights Rudy be here. I need to add Rudy to both these columns here. And then you got Pretty Zero, right? And she has that PG rate leadership for Nest Fighters. Now the thing about these teams is there are no chill, there are no freeze, but you can put them on the second team. If you can't put chill on that first team, then you should put these teams on the second team. Then you got Eileen. She just has a solid 50% PG, or not 50% PG, but 50% attack for purple fighters. And I put her here because purple does have the advantage. And again, I mean, if you're putting on these characters or any other purple character like Nameless, Athena, they are going to be massive. I mean, you put any of the purple fighters that we have up here, Orochi, he's freaking awesome, especially with his 3 PG that you can even get from the Epic Quest. Nameless, I mean, all of them. SS Iori, right? And SS Iori does have a good leadership. And I mean, you could put the SS team as last two. You could put SS Iori as a 50% PG rate leadership. You could put him. You could put SS Kyo, SS Mai, or SS Athena all on the second team. That's going to be freaking insane. And then I got the BS leadership and the SS leadership, right? And these are all going to be on the second team. You could even put, I forgot to put this here, but you could even put Merlin here. Merlin actually has a 20% PG rate leadership for Seven Knights characters, or I'm sorry, Seven Deadly Sins characters. And she does have chill in her kit. She has chill and freeze. So Merlin would be freaking nuts. I will add Merlin onto this list. So you'd have Merlin, and then you'd have some of the Seven Deadly Sins characters to buff her up. She's going to apply the chill and freeze. So you could put her on the first team. And then you could have, one of the other characters, the versions of Meliodas. You could have King. You could have the Elizabeth. Any of those characters to help get it done. I mean, you could have Dancing Elizabeth, who's a purple. You got Bond, who's a purple, right? And then you could have Merlin in the leadership. So I'll probably end up adding that after this video. And I will put the link to this down below. That concludes the Immortal Dungeon Guide for Immortal Typhon. I do apologize, guys, that it took me so long to get it out, man. Them things take me a while to make. And I will add those other characters on there. I will add Rudy, and I will make sure to add the Seven Deadly Sins team also, because that team really is meta for Immortal Typhon. So let me know how you're all doing in the game. Let me know if you're enjoying Nightmare Geese Guild Raid and how well you've done against Immortal Typhon. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT +7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.